What deal are we talking about with you guys?
We're talking about a River Road, and this is a sandwich lease purchase because we don't have an owner finance deal yet. So
Nope, I remember that. You're good. I just want to throw that out. I had it in my notes. That's all.
there we go. I love it. That works.
Okay, this was a sandwich, and where did it come from?
This came from an expired, and a little nuance on this is the fact that this is a couple that was divorced and was court ordered to sell their home, and they were not able to sell it traditionally
For 2 years.
for 2 years.
So the court let them, quote unquote, let them sell it on terms, I take it? Did they had to ask them?
They did.
Yes, we had to go through all of the legal aspects of attorneys talking to magistrates to make sure that this would be okay for them.
Really cool. I kind of forgot that. That's good validation.
Yes.
Okay. How long did you structure?
48 months.
48 months. All right. I guess I missed. How long was it on the market and how much was it on for?
You mean when they were trying to sell it?
Yeah. 2 years, you said. How much money?
2 years. They had it anywhere from, I believe it was
$399. Started out at $399, and then by the time we got to them, it was around $350.
Wow. Okay. All right. So let's talk about what you did. We already explained in the morning session how we structured debt versus the remaining balance of the mortgage. Was there, there was debt. How much debt?
Yeah, $323,920.
Can you be a little bit more specific?
Sure.
We could add
All right.
43 cents.
All right. How about equity?
Yeah, 51,000.
51K. So you gave them more than their lowest price they were at.
Right. Correct.
374.
Early deals.
No,
How's that?
the properties were starting to appreciate in the area, so that is how we ended up our purchase price. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember now.
Okay. And then you went off and sold it for how much?
$399.
$399. Okay. Zach, anything on that top section? Or are you good?
No, I do want to point out two things. We've almost debunked two myths. Number one, Brian talked about earlier, which was because people always worry about, hey, can I buy a property and a seller still go get another loan? We've hit that. And then another one is how you handle divorce. Most people would say, well, if it's court ordered, then you can't do creative financing. Well, we just debunked that as well because we just did a property in which was court ordered, and now they get this deal wrapped up. So these are great little nuances. And if you're here listening, I think it's just opening your perspective to how many more deals are available. Really cool.
Yeah, I actually forgot. That's why it's even more cooler.
Yeah, a little more
All right.
on the divorce side. Yeah, we had to do some serious negotiating and talking with the ex-wife, and it took us some time to really get through that process. So yeah, it took us. It was definitely worthwhile, but we got the deal.
Okay, so for all the people that are considering applying for 90-day Jumpstart, perhaps Cami and Greg, as one of the coaches, kind of have some nuances that they could help you with. Yes, just that thing alone, not to mention all the other ones that Zach and I go over with them on a weekly, daily, hourly basis. All right, payday one. How long did it take to sell it for us and then payday one?
It's about 60 days.
60 days?
Mhm.
Cool. Pretty average. Brian was 65. How much you get down and how much now and over time and then total?
We got 20 grand down initially at the signing, along with first month's rent, which was about $2,700. And then
Okay.
they were scheduled to do 11,000 extra down payment in April, because that's when the husband is supposed to get his bonus. He works for Coke, and
their tax return.
their tax return as well,
Mhm.
which had to be pivoted because of COVID not letting them get their bonuses.
Okay, so you went back, you renegotiated, and what happened?
So then we scheduled the 11,000 to be paid in monthly installments starting in July through December.
Okay.
And this is an 18-month deal of lease that we have with the buyers. So they are expecting to have financing in December.
Nice.
And we've already started that conversation. Actually started that conversation with them about 2 months ago about, are you on track? Have you reached out to lenders? Just so we're all on the same page.
Nice. You know what's really cool? I got to insert this because I just thought of it. As a couple, when you guys are getting coached by these guys, you literally are getting double whammy. You're getting both sides of the business, both sides of the brains, and you get that with Steve and Lauren too.
Yeah, I was just going to
part
say
of the
that.
90 day.
There's a private channel within Slack that is all 90 days, that all of the 90-day jump starts are in with 4 coaches, because you have Greg and Cami, Steve and Lauren. Talk about perspective when you go in and ask a question inside that group, amongst the other groups that are in there as well.
Sweet. All right, Cami, we rudely interrupted you 14 times on that. So where are you with payday one?
She's used to it, I guess.
So total of payday one is 31,000. I guess you could make it 33 if you want to add first month's rent, but doesn't.
Well,
that
of course
doesn't
we want to add first month's rent. Okay.
And then, okay, what's your next question?
Next is monthly outgo for the underlying debt of 323.
So we pay, the monthly cash flow is 395.
Well, okay, so what's the payments? I don't have to do the math.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2388.
2388. See, this is why they have to be a couple, because they just have to figure these things out together. All right, so how much is what's payday 2 then?
$7,127 during an 18-month term.
Okay, yep, got it, because you're pretty sure that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, premium price was
24.9.
24.9, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then principal pay down on the underlying debt?
Yep. So it's $562 a month at 18 months. It's $10,116.
116?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Minus the 31,000 if everybody's following for the morning, not 33.7, because the 2,700 went direct to their pocket and bottom line, doesn't affect their deposit. What's the cash out?
4,016.
4,016?
You got it. And
Okay.
we took our money up front.
Yep. Listen, guys, is that a good deal? It was heavily weighted up front,
It's a good
and then it
deal.
dissipated down. So what's the total profit?
44,891.
44?
891.
891.
On
I'm
an
just throwing this out there that because it's 51,000 in equity, which isn't enormous. I mean, you're still in the 5-figure range. This could be a potential when we go to payday 4 to be able to get and potentially use the financing arm of Smart Real Estate Coach in order to pay off that back end and get it at maybe a discount at like 25,000. Because if you're telling me that property was appreciating during the time in which you were negotiating with them, then it's probably going to continue to appreciate, which means that in 2 or 3 years from now, the house is going to be worth in the 4s, maybe mid 4s, if the market continues to stay where it's going. Pull out that equity, pay off the seller, and turn this into a sub 2, and now we can create this into a probably additional 5-year, 10-year deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a great teaser for this afternoon, you guys. There's no end to the extra deal after the deal. Literally no end. We'll do just some of it this afternoon with you. Okay, any other nuances here, Cami or Greg? And then while I'm asking that, could you guys please post questions? Zach will catch those because we've got time before we go to Laura's deal. So any nuances first?
Yeah. So the great thing about this, when the buyer signed, about 2 months afterwards, the buyer or the seller had told me, he said, look, he said, Greg, he said, you got me out of bind. I am so grateful for you getting me out of a bind. We found out he was getting close to get himself financially in a bad predicament because the monthly payments were eating him alive because they were bouncing between that home and another home in Kentucky. And that was a lot. And to be honest with you, he actually has done a couple referral calls. He said, I would be willing to talk to a couple referrals, and he's done that twice. And each time he did it, we got to do it.
Wow.
And he won't take, I try to, you know, hey, do you mind if I send you a card to go to dinner one time? He said, Greg, he said, I don't want to be paid. I want to tell them the truth and I don't want to be biased. That's
Sweet.
awesome. That's the type of avatar we're looking for.
Yeah, and that answers some of the questions, Greg, that came up earlier saying, why would a seller ever do that? Because they got shit going on and we can help them.
Yeah.
You got it. Because the realtor couldn't work with the ex-wife, and we were able to work through that process and get the deal done. Had a lot to do with it.